Welcome to my channel where we discuss everything and all things politics, especially about the 2023 presidential election in Nigeria. As we keep saying, the elections of 2023 is not over until the Supreme Court rules. However, the outcome of the election has continued to impact the country in several ways. It is as a result of the outcome of the election. That is why the former governor of suspended governor of the central bank, uh, Godwin Emefiele, is now in detention. It is as a result of the outcome of that election that the EFCC chairman, Abdulrasheed Bawa, is in detention. It is as a result of that outcome of that election that the price of fuel is now sold more than 500 naira a liter. And it goes on and on. So we are not far-fetched when we talk about anything that results from that election. Like I'm doing now, talk about the charges against Emefiele, the suspended governor of the central bank. After much prevarication and after weeks of being detained without Nigerians truly being aware of what he did wrong that warranted his detention. Because in other part of the world, you don't get the detention of a central bank governor just like that. It doesn't happen like that always to get a central bank governor detained. And Emefiele have been detained, but we now know why he's detained. Because the charges against him has been revealed to Nigerians and was reported by the channel's television. I don't know whether you have been privileged to hear about it, but we're going to talk about it here. Because after much horse trading and, in fact, going to court, it is because he went to court to enforce his fundamental human rights that federal government was forced to now tell us what he did. But we are not going to get the details until the trial starts of what went wrong. But the federal government has filed a 2-count charge against Godwin Emefiele. Guess what he was charged for? I'm sure you're not going to guess it right, unless you have heard this before. He was charged for illegal possession of firearms and ammunition. He was charged for illegal possession of firearms and ammunition. That has been the charge against him before the Federal High Court. The federal government of Nigeria accused Emefiele of possessing a single barrel shotgun without a license. So what in the world? Why would Emefiele possess a single shotgun without a license? The government claimed that this contradicts Section 4 of the Firearms Act, Cap F28 laws of the Federation, 2004. In addition to the charge, Emefiele was accused of possessing 123 rounds of live ammunition without a license. Come on, Emefiele. Why did you do this? Upon all the things that Nigerians were expecting to celebrate your incarceration, that the crime they were expecting to celebrate, because there are so many people who don't like you, who don't like Emefiele. They believe he was the reason why that was a stumbling block to some people winning the presidential election. But those people eventually overcame his roadblock. and a march, and where people thought that there would be matters relating to that in the court. Especially before now, we are told that Emefiele was alleged to be funding terrorism. I hope you heard about this issue several times. Alleged funding of terrorism. This was the matter even when Buhari was still in power and when Emefiele was still stronger. Because at least when Buhari was the president, Emefiele was given the cover. He was charged he was accused of alleged funding of terrorism financing, which is a serious issue. So many Nigerians, I'm sure, were shocked to find out that they didn't charge him for terrorism financing. What happened to that allegation? What happened to that claim? Because we know that there was a claim like that for which they wanted to detain him even when Buhari was around. So what happened to that? Does it mean that that didn't hold any water? Because you know what it means to be accused of funding terrorism. It means that you are responsible for the what is going on in the country. But thank God, by not charging him, it means that he didn't do anything like that. At least it's a good thing for him that he wasn't charged for that. Because a lot of people were wondering, how could Emefiele be alleged to be funding financing terrorism when he is not known to be a fundamentalist of any kind? You know, what would be the reason that he would be funding terrorism? What's the motive? What will he want to achieve? But thank God for him. He was not charged for that because, as far as I'm concerned, that one is even more serious case than this issue of possession of guns, uh, single barrel gun without a license. It's a kind of allegation that so many ordinary Nigerians face who happen to possess such arms without license. That's not as weighty as terrorism financing. Maybe I'm wrong, but let somebody on uh, on the on the commentary box tell me that I'm wrong. But I believe that uh, what is charged is lesser than terrorism financing, which I consider a more serious issue. Okay, and I was even surprised. I'm also surprised. I'm sure many Nigerians are too. That there were nothing. He wasn't charged for anything that related to uh, Naira design policy because there was so much hula baloo about the Naira the redesign policy, how it was the brainchild of Emefiele. He was the person that advised Buhari to do it and all that, and that it was mismanaged. Of course, many of us know that there were so many things wrong with the process of the implementation. For example, there was not enough cash to go around in the banks when the old Naira notes were withdrawn. Many people were dying because they could not have access to their money, and the hospitals were not ready to treat anybody without depositing the money. And the online banking system totally collapsed. People can transfer money and all that. It was a total mess. Many people thought that that would be one of the things that he will be charged for mismanaging that process. But luckily for him, nothing like that was mentioned, which means that the man may be free soon if he can be able to convince them, the federal government, what he was doing with the single barrel gun that they found in his possession or allegedly found in his possession. It's interesting that it shows also how even the big men are trying to protect themselves. Perhaps only God knows. Maybe he using that single barrel gun to protect himself. Allegedly, that's if it's true that he, he owns it, because he has to come to court and even admit that he owns one before he begin to talk about whatever. He has to admit that he owns it, because he can come to the court and claim he never owns any gun, and it become an issue already. But it's interesting. It means that if it is true that he owns such a gun, it means that even our leaders don't trust the security in the country. Everybody want to ensure his own protection, unless uh, maybe when the court case starts, he will tell us what else he's doing with the gun. It will be interesting for Nigerians to learn what their former or their suspended central governor was doing with a gun. Uh, and it will be interesting to know what's really going on. What's he doing with it? Possessing 123 rounds of live ammunition without a license. We would like to know why he did that, and it's going to be an interesting case. And I'm sure many Nigerians will be awaiting to hear his own side of the story. According to the reports, his matter has not yet been assigned to uh, any courts. I'm sure they will do it very soon, and Nigerians will be eagerly waiting to know what uh, Emefiele is doing with a gun. And this is an interesting time. We'll keep our fingers crossed. But like I said, good enough for Emefiele. It wasn't. This to me, I may be wrong, because I think that terrorism financing is a far more serious and dangerous thing, uh, more weighty than this. But let us see how it pans out. We are waiting to see. Now, it now threw up a lot of questions, because when I go on social media and see the reaction of Nigeria, people are asking, they are wondering if MFL, who had this kind of gun in possession, in secret, obviously, because Nigerians were obviously shocked that he had a gun, or he allegedly had a gun. But Asari Dokubo, the ex-militant leader, Niger Delta militant leader, Nigerians have seen his viral video where he was in possession of AK-47. And there have been several groups calling for his prosecution and arrest for being in possession of AK-47 and threatening a certain ethnic group in the country, brazenly, and all that. I've seen a group of lawyers, I've seen non-governmental organizations, I've seen people from all walks of life, everywhere. In fact, I've seen one NGO group who claim that they have already written a letter to the Inspector General of Police for the arrest and prosecution of Asari Dokubo for being in possession of AK-47. Because according to this group, they were claiming that a civilian cannot be authorized to possess AK-47 and all that. But perhaps, maybe, we'll soon find out. Maybe Asari Dokubo had a license or not, since they have not yet drawn attention to his issue. Federal government have not charged him or said anything about him. Obviously, he must have had a license or something like that, which also threw another question. So civilians, because we didn't know that Asari had ever been a senior military officer or something like that, because many Nigerians thought that it's only the military and security agents that are permitted to possess AK-47. Whatever may be the case, Nigerians are still waiting for Asari Dokubo to be charged also, like they have seen Emefiele being charged. Or is it, as some people used to say, that perhaps what is happening to Emefiele is different strokes for different folks. Perhaps since Emefiele has lost out from the power game, he has to pay a price for losing out in the power game, or what it is going on. Because many people are wondering, Emefiele is being charged, which is rightly true. Because if you possess firearm without license, you have to bear the consequences. But what about Asari Dokubo? People have been on social media sharing his video and calling on federal government to do something about it. But federal government have not said a damn thing about it, which obviously means perhaps he has a license. Or doesn't he? Only the federal government can answer that question. Thank you for watching this video. And if you are new to my channel, you have not yet subscribed to my channel, please subscribe to my channel. Hit the subscription button, hit the notification bell. When you subscribe to my channel and hit the notification bell, anytime I have a new video, you'll be among the first to know. God bless you. And please don't forget to like this video, because when you like it, Google will rank it high and recommend it for more people. God bless you and yours.